Hello everybody, this is a Lamley unboxing slash showcase. This is Team Transport Mix C, full of really good stuff. You've seen these are just coming out. My friends over at Wheel Collectors, A&J Toys, J-Car Diecast. I'll name all of the partners that have it. You can go to any one of those. I'll leave links down below in the comment section to any of those stores to go and snag this Team Transport because it is fantastic. Stay till the end. I've got an incredible sneak peek. I'm prepping a big Hot Wheels premium sneak peek, and I'll give you a sneak peek of the sneak peek at the end of this video. So let's get right to it. This is Mix C. Mattel sent this over. Anyway, 4 pieces, let's move this down. There we go. Two of the same, and then 2 of the, well, whatever. We'll just open it up and you guys can see what is inside. And we'll get these, and we won't just unbox them, we'll actually open these up. So there you go. 4 models, let's pull them out, or 4 sets, 2 of one and then 1 of the other. I think what we'll see will probably make some go, hey, they should have done the other one. I know that they budget these like based on production costs of each one of these. That's how they determine what the repeat's going to be, because I think if they determine on what the most popular is going to be, they would have picked one of these 2. But let's just do this and we'll get these opened up, and then like I said, stay tuned for the sneak peek at the end. We start with Mercedes-Benz 300 SL and the 55 Mercedes-Benz Blouse Wonder. This was the Team Transport that was in their hauler that was in the Leno set that is everywhere in the stores and seems to hang all the time. People are like, why are they doing it again? We'll talk about that in just a second. So that is 1. There's obviously 2 of those in this set. Put that one off to the side. Next one, I think this one should be popular, and we're going to talk about, not only is this a licensed hauler, but so is this, and this is so unique. And Hot Wheels is going to lean into this style in Team Transport. That's part of the sneak peek. You kind of know now what you might be looking at the end. But this is the 63 Chevy Nova and the Chevy Silverado, the 88 Chevy Silverado 3500. We did a sneak peek of this for Moab several months ago, but we'll go ahead and open this one and show this set off. That is fantastic. And then of course, just knowing how things go in the Hot Wheels world, this will probably be the one that will be the most popular. It is the Liberty Walk hauler with the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Liberty Walk, the Ken Mary that we've seen tuned and we've seen basic. Now we see it in a premium version, which is cool, plus the Fleet Flyer. So that's what is in the C case, which since hobby dealers have it, go buy it from there. That's a great way to get them and guarantee you're getting them. And then of course, if you, someone's alarm's going off, but you might, obviously these are going to be in stores too, and depending, I know this Accord set that's just out right now, the Castrol Accord, has been so hard to find. I'm imagining some of these are going to be the same. So let's get these opened up. All right, friends, I filmed the whole thing. I opened them up, and then I went back and checked my video, and the sound was really mangled. So I'm refilming this. So we're all going to pretend, if you guys don't mind, we are all going to pretend that I am ripping them open for the first time. And I will try and replicate all of my comments. We've seen these when we did the sneak peeks anyway, so we've got that, but yeah, the sound was really bad. So I'm going to refilm all of this part and then do the sneak peek at the end, which you're gonna love. So let's move forward, but first I'm going to, because now make sure the sound is good. All right, all is good. Let's start. The theme of this video, outside of it just being Team Transport, is licensed haulers. We've really created a massive collection of haulers, and we've had a smattering of licensed haulers. And I think one of the reasons, it's not just budget, and it might be partly budget, but one of the reasons we're not seeing just all licensed haulers is because it allows for combinations. You do, some sort of, well, I mean, we could talk about this, like the Fleet Flyer, which comes from, they started this thing was in the original mix of Team Transport, one of the first or second. But you do a truck like this, which looks somewhat realistic. It definitely looks like a Japanese hauler. But you can obviously put Nissans, Toyotas, Chevrolets, you name it, Porsches with an unlicensed hauler and put whatever deco you want. If it's, a VW, you've got some license with Porsche. If it's a Chevy, you kind of pretty much have to do Chevys, Ford, that sort of thing. So that's why I think we're seeing things like, more unlicensed haulers but we do get the occasional one. And to be perfectly honest, this is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL and the 55 Mercedes-Benz Blouse Wonder. We'll do a comparison of the Leno hauler, but I kind of wish that this hauler was introduced with this set as opposed to the Leno set. Reason being, the Leno set was a Leno set. That was the theme. This really needed to be the showcase here, you know, especially with a vintage Mercedes-Benz race car when there wasn't even one in the set. I think it was a couple Fords in that tank car. This would have gained, I think, a little more appreciation as opposed to being it's in Leno's collection. It was more, this is a vintage Mercedes hauler. So let's talk a little bit about this. Rip. There, you guys pretend. Rip. Let's talk about this. We'll talk about the car first. It's really cool to see a vintage car on this. This is what should be on it. Not only the gull wing, and if they do other vintage Mercedes, you could put anything on this, really, Mercedes-wise. But that was the theme. In fact, if you were watching footage from Goodwood just a couple months ago, you will see that they actually had one of these out there. The history of this, well, history of this is that this was a hauler that they used. We'll talk about in a second. But this is the kind of car that should be on top of it, not a Leno Ford. And this combination makes sense. They did a very vintage deco with this one, very, very plain and gray, with these kind of deep dish steelies, which make total sense, look more like hubs, and the number 54, and that's it. Nice and clean. This is the perfect combination, and I just feel like this one a little sputtered out of the gate a little bit in a peg warming set, when in all actuality, you could get so much more and so much appreciation for this. This hauler was built by Mercedes to kind of show off. They were flexing. They're like, not only are we going to be bringing in fast winning cars on our haulers, but we're going to actually make the hauler itself super fast. And so this was a very, very fast hauler. And I think it crashed, maybe burned down. The one that they are racing at Goodwood now is a replica. And of course, this is the Hot Wheels replica. I'll pull out the Leno one. There's absolutely no difference. We noticed that when I did the video before. Shades are pretty much the same. Deco is exactly the same. Details, even down to what's on the rear, are exactly the same, which makes me wonder that Mercedes might say this is how it has to be. It has to be in blue. But give Hot Wheels credit. They said, look, we've got to do this hauler. It's a very iconic hauler. They did it. They paid the licensing, did the development. It would be rad to see this in other colors, hopefully like vintage type. But if we don't, at least we have this. And I think it's a great hauler to have in the collection. And if they put it in another box set with more vintage Mercedes, I'm all for it. I understand the nature of repeats, but I think in this case, I think we should all be okay with that one. I understand why we get annoyed with some repeats, but I love that Hot Wheels did that. All right. Keep licensed haulers in mind as we get to the end of this. All right, Liberty Walk. This will be the most popular set. There are two of these. They might hang a little bit. I hope not. This will probably be just because there's a JDM Liberty Walk Skyline in here, and it's a very, very cool set. This should probably be the most popular if I guess correctly. Let's, well, here's the art. I didn't show you the back, did I? There's the back of that. Looks like an International, and there's that. Imminently hitting. All right. Liberty Walk set. Love this. I think the last Liberty Walk set they did, they put it in front of the Liberty Walk studio in Japan. This time it's just at night being cool, and I absolutely love that art. I think it's really cool. Okay. Look, we're going to open up for the first time. Rip. Boy, that was a good, clean rip. And let's get this out. Oh, I didn't make it totally realistic because there was a protective piece but anyway, I think we're all good at pretending, right? Here's the hauler. Go through that very, very quickly. Very, very cool. Like, looks awesome that they've matched the color of the Ken Mary. What I really like in the detail is on the windshield. They have the Liberty Walk logo in Japanese to match the Skyline. And that's unique to the Skyline. Like the yellow lettering on the blue car, and they've done that exact on the hauler. I think that's a really, really neat little detail that they've added. So the hauler's very, very cool. I say very, very cool way too much. And but it is. It's very, very cool, and so is the car. This is the second premium version of this casting, released as a basic in this exact deco, but obviously this one has more detail. I love the 4 spokes on this. It works. And then we have the tuned version that just came out, and then the last premium was in that white Skyline box set, which is rad. So these look great. This seems to have taken the place of the old Skyline casting. I would love to see them do a new modified Skyline casting with the smaller wheels, Ken Mary Skyline. They would just really have to go off of this and just make it a little bit more factory and remove some of the Liberty Walk modifications. But this one is awesome. Really, really nice car. Love it in premium, and it had to be in this deco. And so doing it as a Liberty Walk set with that matching hauler just looks awesome. Dig it. Dig it. All right, let's do the last set. This is the one that I'm most interested in because we've done the sneak peek of this. There's several new things here. One, licensed hauler, which is awesome, but this is a hauler that just can exist on its own. And we've kind of had that, right? Let's go through the licensed haulers that we've had so far. And I mentioned, I think they do unlicensed because of the combinations, but occasionally they put in a proper licensed hauler, and it creates for some great combinations for those of us that want to make those combinations. We've already covered this one. I think it's iconic. I think it's vintage. I think it's relevant. And even if we get no new colors, this is the Leno version, I'm cool with it. I hope you are too, because you should be. I honestly, there's enough to complain about. I get it. But I think we should all be cool with the fact that we may not see another version of that one, but that's cool. Here was the first license hauler. We actually came in the first mix. It was a Magnus Walker, first or second mix. Maybe it was the first. We've seen it in Momo. We've seen it in Moon Eyes. I really love this Porsche version of the T1 hauler. What do they call it? What's the official name? Volkswagen Transporter T1 pickup. You could just put this on its own in a car culture set and it would be cool, right? But it is great as a transporter. Really dig this version, or dig this casting, and nice to have it as a licensed hauler. You're seeing a nice little family form, right? You get I'll put this right there. You get the VW. The next one, well, there was some mistaken that this could be, but it's not. This looks like a Ford Transit van, but it's unlicensed, I think, so they could do racing. And we've seen it with a Rover now, but very British in styling, but not licensed, in case anyone was wondering. But this one is, I love this one. This is the Ford C800 hauler. Two things that I love about this. Number one, you can carry two cars on it, which looks really nice. And I love it in this Ford racing livery. But number two is just the vintage cab. That's just a look that you don't see often in these cabs anymore, obviously, because you don't see the vintage cabs on the road, but you might see them in a field somewhere as you're passing through an old town. But I just love this cab, and I love that they went vintage. And the combinations that you can do with this, with some of the old Ford racing cars, is just awesome. So this one, I'm all for that one. I just absolutely love. And since it can carry two cars, why don't we put it in the carpool lane back there? The express lane, it's hidden. There, we'll put it there for now. I just think that's a really cool licensed cab. And then the last one, which is the one that actually leads me into this set, and then we got the sneak peek, is this one, because I'm really surprised by this. When we first saw this hauler, the Chevy C10, 72 Chevy ramp truck, right? It's the C10 cab or C10 pickup with the ramp on it. I thought this was going to be just mega popular. And you guys will have to let me know what you think about this, because both of the releases of this is the second release, have hung on the pegs. And I don't know if it's about the car on top, or I don't know, because there's been so much clamoring for more classic American in premium and American racing and muscle. I thought that people would be dancing in the streets for this set and be picking them up and gobbling them up, but that has not been the case at all. So I'd be curious what you guys think. So leave comments on why this has been such a peg warmer, because it's a fantastic hauler. And the combinations, I remember seeing one at a Porsche show with a Porsche on top. I know they may not be able to do that for a team transport set, but we can. You can put a Porsche on this. You can put anything cool on this. And it's just a really cool, like, showing up at a local racing show or local race with a cool race car on it. It just seems like there could be a million combinations with that, and it just hasn't been that popular, which surprises me, which leads into this. If I'm guessing, I think this is going to be a massively popular set. What a cool, the dually is just so cool on its own, and now we get this really cool, like, realistic, you could see this combination showing up to a race. You could customize this, or maybe Hot Wheels releases later versions of this in like kind of a more like factory version, like an old an old paint color, and then they've got their old race car on top. I mean, there's just so many possibilities with this set. Yet, if I compare it to that, a classic Chevy with a classic Chevy, I mean, is it going to hang? Rip, by the way. Let's go through this set. It just really surprises me. I'll move some of this back here. We'll start. The trailer is exactly the same. It is the rally trailer. I did pull out the first rally trailer. There is one difference. Nothing about the construction of it, but the name. It used to be called Rally Trailer, and now it's called Hot Wheels Rally Trailer. So they've changed that. I don't know if they changed that before and I didn't notice it, but that trailer is the same. It's the same for all of those, I think. Here is the car. VP, love it. Love the fact that they did this AFX car. A is the class, F is factory, X is modified or something, represents that. I can't remember what it exactly stands for. It's a cousin to a gasser, these castings, and this one came with vintage racing to start, and we've seen it pop up occasionally. I really, really dig this Nova. And I like it in the VP. It's nice and clean. It has a vintage vibe, but not necessarily, but you could do a lot there. I love the combination on these. I think this is a great debut. Really, really cool casting. Put that on the trailer. And then, of course, the dually is fantastic. Dually, there is the lower dually and basic. This is a different casting. I can't remember if I said this in the first part. I'll cut it out if I didn't. It's a built from scratch casting, and it's bigger than the basic dually, and obviously it has the tow hitch in it as well. It's lifted. I am really looking forward to future versions of this one. This one is nice, but I can't wait to see what else they do with it. I'm assuming it will be a oft-used hauler. I hope it is, because I love it. So there is that. I'm very curious what you guys think. Are you going to be picking up the Chevy? Is it going to hang? I mean, I don't think it'll hang. There's only going to be one per case, but anyway, put this here. Which leads to the sneak peek. I am working on a Hot Wheels Premium sneak peek video. I've got a lot of cool stuff I'm going to show, but I think it's appropriate since we're talking licensed haulers. Chevy, Ford, VW, Mercedes. We have a real special one that at the convention they previewed, and I've got it. I'll get more in depth on it, but if they're going with licensed cars and trailers, this set is going to be the most crazy, amazing set. I'm just gonna build it. We'll finish off with this amazing sneak peek and look for more details on it when I do the premium sneak peek video here shortly. This thing is just wicked cool. More details to come. Thanks, everybody. Bye.